Hey everyone, Mr. Silbaugh here, and this is my take on Unit 8, Lesson 8. So, over the past few lessons, we talked about APIs, and some of the APIs that we talked about were Canvas, offline web applications, geolocation, and drag and drop. Canvas was essentially a blank box to fill content with that you could create content on the fly. Offline web applications allow you to run a page without the internet, and geolocation allows the user to share their location, and then drag and drop allows users to drag and drop objects along the screen. So, as I mentioned in previous lessons, we're talking about some advanced topics. So, in these advanced topics, we're not really going to dive too deep into them. We're only going to cover the very basics of them and only scratch the surface. Most of this, of what I'm talking about, is going to be stuff that you just need to know about and know that it exists and not have to worry about actually having to do it. So, we're talking about web application frameworks today. These are a set of software tools that allows developers for websites to create and manage dynamic websites, applications, and services. So, this is essentially another way to create a dynamic web page. These generally provide common code for basic functions, and they can be overridden, meaning changed, altered, so that a developer has some control over a specific part of the web page. So again, you don't need to know how to do these, you are just going to know how to about them. There are two types of web application frameworks. There's the front end and the back end. And it's exactly what it says. The front end is all of the stuff that the user sees. The back end is all of the stuff that the designer sees. So on the front end, these are the features for how the pages will look. There's an emphasis on powerful and purposeful designs here. And some of the frameworks include Angular, React, jQuery UI, and Vue.javascript. Again, just need to know about them, not actually going to learn about them. The back end, this is used for the data management and access and storage of data and manipulation of data. The back end web application framework just deals with data. So software libraries. Web application frameworks provide some software libraries. This is to help manage the creation and maintenance of online databases, the security of the web pages, to manage data on the servers that host the pages, and there's templates to manage the background while keeping the content intact. So there are two main web application frameworks that the text mentions. The first one is Django. You can find more about it at djangoproject.com. This is an open source framework for dynamic web pages. It's written in Python, and you can create a database-driven website using Django. We're going to talk more about databases tomorrow. It uses what's called Rapid Application Development, and don't repeat yourself, dry. So this allows for duplication of elements, and that's low. So the whole goal is with the Django project is that you can do things with it for web design and you're not repeating yourself constantly when you do it. Dry, what the emphasis of dry is that if you change a single element, that will not change logically unrelated elements. So if it's not related to the element you're changing, like it logistically makes no sense to change it, it will not change it. However, if it's logically related and part of the element that you're changing, it will update accordingly. So Django's is pretty intelligent when it comes to the language writing part of this. And so it makes more sense that when you do update something, if it's related, it will update. The last one is Ruby on Rails, and you can find more about that at rubyonrails.org. This is an open source framework, and it also emphasizes the RAD and dry principles for quick development of websites. Again, it is all about quickly developing a website without having to put too much work and coding into it. It's called Rails for short. It works with web servers, databases, and operating systems. So it works with pretty much everything that you need in order to develop a website. And it's easy to use in order to create websites quickly. Now, I mentioned two of these. We're not even going to do a lab with them. We're not even going to talk about them really. The only thing you just need to know about the two of them, and what they do. You don't really need to know anything beyond that. If you are curious about those two types, then you could definitely take advanced courses in high school and in college on about those topics. So in conclusion here, web application frameworks, they're a set of software code that is used to create dynamic web pages, and Django and Ruby on Rails are two types of these application frameworks. So you only need to know about what a web application framework is, what it does, and the two main types that the text talks about. Other than that, if you are curious, like I said, you would take an advanced course on web design to learn more.